Hi Mom, it's me. Just writing home. JK, I'm vlogging home. So, this week I'm vlogging about a date. Surprise! Now, even though there were a lot of good things about this date, it failed. Let me tell you why. There are a lot of things to take into consideration when it comes to dates and dating. And if a date fails, and if a date passes. A date passes if you get a second date. A date fails if there's absolutely no interest in any more dates. Now, even though from the beginning, I felt like I probably would not go on another date with the same boy in the future, I felt like I probably should give him the benefit of the doubt. So I did. Now, bad thing number one. I was late. I understand that that's bad etiquette. I felt like it was a situation somewhat out of my control. I was not driving home from the field trip. That's the point where I did good thing number one to do when you're running late for a date. I let them know. I let my date know that I would be late, as well as the couple that we were doubling with, just to make sure that I didn't mess things up. Now, the content of the date was pretty good. He seemed like a nice guy. We conversed easily. He was kind of timid when he drove, which for me is something that I'm not comfortable with because I want to drive with someone who's comfortable driving. Oh well. I can overlook that on a first date. Not a big deal. He even mentioned video games, which I also overlooked because I know I personally hate video games, but not everybody hates video games. So now we'll fast forward to the part where the date went wrong. After I had directed him back towards my apartment, he drove into the parking lot and drove past a couple of empty spots, drove past my apartment building until we got to the end of the parking lot where there were a few parking spaces that were open right next to each other. I figured this was just because he felt more comfortable pulling into a spot where there weren't two cars really close on each side. My parking lot had small parking stalls. But it wasn't really that. He pulled over there and stopped, and I was a little bit confused until, kudos, he communicated effectively. He said, "This is where I'm going to let you off," essentially. Now, to the men in my life, let me give you a little advice. Don't take this approach to the end of a date. Unless, just don't. Because this was a kind of awkward situation, I kind of felt like just patting his shoulder before I climbed out of his car. I didn't. I instead made things a little bit more formal because he was being informal. So I stuck my hand out and made him shake my hand. And I told him again, thank you for working with me when I was late for the date. And then I got out of his car and I proceeded to walk quickly towards my apartment. I wanted to run. So there you go, Mom. I made it home safely from my blind date. So that's that. Bye, Mom!